Welcome. I am so glad you decided to join me today at the Show Up and Rise Up 3-day virtual summit. I am Dr. Tashika L. Green, the President, CEO, and founder of To Everything There Is a Season, where we provide personal, professional, and leadership development to individuals and organizations to help them leverage their gift, passion, and purpose to maximize their greatest potential. I want to inspire you today to walk in your calling by leveraging your strengths. Now is the time for rebirth, new beginnings, and endless possibilities. Now is the time to leverage your strengths to walk in your calling. Everything you are, you think, and do is permeated on what you were called to do. And many of us are walking in our gifts and not being led by our calling. And it is giving us a false sense of fulfillment rather than a life of completion. The gift gives you the ability, but the calling gives you your identity. I'll say that again, catch that. The gift gives you the ability, but the calling gives you your identity. The calling is your identity and answers the who, what, how, when, and why of your life. The identity of who you are, what distinguishes you from anyone and anybody else, and how you are set apart and why you exist, why you were born to do what you do. And the when is when it will happen in God's timing. Your calling is a mature place. It's a place of maturity, a place of identity. God won't ever change his mind about what he has called you to do or let you manipulate your way out of it. So what do you do to walk in your calling? Do you leverage your strengths? Now you may want to pause and do some reflection. Really tune in right now and turn me up because I may not be talking about the term strength or how most defined it, related to strengths as your knowledge, your skills, gifts, attributes, or those things you do innately well. However, I am defining strength as the power to resist those things that would hinder you from walking in your divine calling. Let me define that for you again. I am defining strengths as the power to resist those things that would hinder you from walking in your calling. The things that are holding you back, the obstacles that get in the way, the memories of I tried, but I failed at that. The thought of being too young or too old. The thought of I have never seen anyone else do that. Or the thought of it's going to take too long, too much time, or too much money. Do you have the strength or the power to resist all those things that may be hindering you from walking in your calling? 6 years ago, my life was violently interrupted. In a moment, what I loved to do was taken away from me. Many would say I lost my job, but I would like to say I was pushed into my destiny. It wasn't losing the job that rocked me. It was the fact that the very thing I was called to do, loved to do, and chosen to do was interrupted. That moment brought a wave of emotions and led me back to old places. Anxiety, overeating, lack of forgiveness, anger, frustration. And the feelings were overtaking me and leaving me in a space of frustration. I had to have enough strength to resist every emotion and be humble, pray, turn from my ways, and forgive in order to walk in a higher place for my life. I was at a place where I had to choose between what I knew and how I felt. Quickly, I agreed with God, activated my faith, participated in the process, and followed where God was leading. In March, I will celebrate 10 years in business, 6 years full-time as an entrepreneur with over 20 published works and an international consultant, coach, speaker, and philanthropist. Now, don't think none of this came without a cause and a process. I had to lose some things. I had some failures. I had some disappointments, tears, and loneliness. I even used my gifts in the wilderness to make it the best out of life. But never did I ask for any of this. It was a part of God's plan and the calling on my life. I just had to have the strength to resist everything that was not in alignment with the calling. I had to learn that for years, I was walking in my gifts rather than the calling. For years, I've been spending time giving my gifts and sharing my gifts, but I was never in a mature place where it was my own identity. I had the ability and the capability, and I knew it was my responsibility to lead. I was prepared for this. And so when preparation kissed opportunity, it resulted in success. Success not measured by how much I had accomplished, or gained, but instead it was measured by how much I prepared others. Dr. Maya Angelou said, success is like you yourself, liking what you do and liking how you do it. I am Dr. Tashika L. Green. Education is my calling, teaching is my gift, inspiring is my passion, and serving is my purpose. So how are you leveraging your strength? The power to resist so that you can walk in your calling? Do you have the strength to talk less and walk more? The power to resist talking about every move you make and never getting to the action? Are you making moves or announcements? Do you have the strength to move beyond your emotions and feelings, the power to resist how you feel or what others think about you? Or are you a people pleaser or God pleaser? And do you have the strength to exceed your expectations, to remove the barriers and limitations that have been placed on your life so that you can see the endless possibilities? Let's begin with the strength of less talking and more walking, to resist the nature to talk about what you need to do and not be about what you need to do. Let your walk follow your talk, or as we all know, actions speak louder than words. Walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called. In this aspect, the word walk has to do with your behavior, your character. It refers to your daily conduct and how you live day by day. Walk in your calling with tender humility and quiet patience, and consistently demonstrating gentleness and generous love with a heart of compassion, always wanting to evoke change and make matters better than what you found them. Don't depend on your own strength to accomplish this. However, have a compelling focus. Forget all of the past and fasten to your heart to the future. Keep your feet on the path created for you and walk in a direction that leads to where you will flourish. How are you going to do that? You are going to trade in fear for power and a sound mind. Don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. I'm going to say that again. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Don't just think out of the box. Throw the whole box away. Have the power to resist all of the talk and start walking the walk. Let's begin with the next strength, the power to resist letting your emotions control or get the best of you. The strength of moving beyond your emotions and feelings. Is it about how you feel or is it about what you know? I'm going to propose that question again. Is it about how you feel or is it about what you know? Don't let your feelings and emotions control your behavior or your walk. Learn that you can have emotions without letting them have you. In other words, you can live beyond your feelings and get to a place of, and I know. And we know all things work for the good of them who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Follow the call and not your feelings or emotions. Emotions and feelings are real, but they are not permanent. They are fickle and can be a certain way at any given moment. But when you know and have not one ounce of doubt, you begin to embrace a part of your life that leads to new beginnings. So how are you going to do this? You're going to get still, be quiet, listen to your internal compass, and lean on what you know rather than what you feel. Use your strength to resist your emotions and walk in a place that you can lead to new beginnings. Let's look at the last strength, the power to resist the limitations you put on yourself and embrace endless possibilities. I'll say that again. Use your strength and your power to resist the limitations you put on yourself and embrace endless possibilities to exceed all expectations. What limits have you put on yourself that's hindering you from walking in your calling? Do not limit yourself to what you see or be distracted by the noise of what others may see for you. Go beyond what you see for yourself and what others see for you. Take off those limits and not just think out of the side of the box. Throw the box away. See, these boxes are closed spaces with borders, and they have lids that keep us bound or cut us off to what's around us. Some boxes we get stuck in are called I am better than, I deserve, or I must be seen as, or I'm worse than. When you're in this box, you can't focus on the results. You can't focus on your identity. You can't focus on your calling. Your influence and success will depend on you being out of this box and resisting the power of these limitations that have been put on you. Get out of the box as you cease resisting others. Change your I cans to I will, to I did walk in my calling. Therefore, exceed all expectations. Discover what you never knew existed. Live in a place of victory and release all the promises for your life. Now is the time. What a better time, a greater time, January 2024, to walk worthy in a place called eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, nor has it entered the hearts of men what God has prepared for you. It's a place far beyond what you could even ask for or think. It's a place that exceeds your expectation. It's time for rebirth. It's time for new beginnings. It's time for endless possibilities. Use your strength as a source of power to resist anything and everyone that would try and hinder you from walking in the place, the calling that you were born to fulfill. I want to hear from you. I want to hear how you are leveraging your strength to walk in your calling. Visit me at tashikagreen.com so that I can hear how you are resisting those things and walking in your calling. Also, visit me at tashikagreen.com so that I can send you a free ebook. Follow me on all social media platforms at drtashikagreen.com. I am Dr. Tashika L. Green, the president, CEO, and founder of To Everything There's a Season. Education is my calling, teaching is my gift, inspiring is my passion, and serving is my purpose. Now is the time for rebirth, new beginnings, and endless possibilities. Leverage your strengths and walk in your calling. If you are still here, go and live a purposeful life.